We just
Sure.
briefly talked about me. The only other couple of things is I co-host the Cloud Accounting podcast. So if you're looking to stay on top of all the weekly news and tech that's in our industry, definitely tune into that. After I looked into it, I did start my own company. And two major aha moments for me in that. One was, if I think about my career, it was always in theory. Oh, in theory, you can connect all these apps and then data is going to magically go from an app and get into your QuickBooks. So when I started my own company, I opened a bank account, I got my debit card. The first thing I did is I went and bought business cards on New, right? So I charged using my debit card, the business cards. I got an email receipt. I took the email receipt, I sent it to auto entry scanned it, put it into my QuickBooks Online, download the bank feed, and it all matched up. And I was jumping up and down in my kitchen. I was like, this is amazing. This stuff really works. But when
It's
it's
not.
something real, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. And then the
Yeah.
second big learning, because things are real now, if I look at like when I was helping other testing apps, or even when I was in quality assurance, or even in tech support, just creating fake transactions, fake vendor. Like when I do the demo today, I'll be calling things like fake vendor, right? Things like that. And it's all fake. And what happened? And so if an app messed up my QuickBooks, I didn't really care. But when I had my own company and that messed up my QuickBooks, I lost my mind. Like that's
Yeah.
the end of that app. And so now I have this new level of empathy with accountants and bookkeepers because I know what it's like for you guys now when an app screws up your client's QuickBooks data. So it's just two major aha moments of being a business owner now. I was an auto venture, got acquired by Sage. I didn't like leave a big, huge company to work in another big, huge company. And about the time I was discovering Melio for the podcast, found me. And so I joined about last January, I joined the Familio and I've been there since. Really, my role there is to, at one level, be very outbound. Oh, Melio is so great. Come use Melio. And the more important part of my role is to really go to our internal teams, our product managers, our founders, our marketing team, our sales support teams, and make sure everybody understands how important accountants and bookkeepers are. So we've know the right stuff. And that's
Right.
like the more important because I don't have to sell Melio to accountants and bookkeepers. But if I make Melio do what it needs to do, it'll sell itself. I don't have to do a
Right.
lot of that.
And
Actually, I'm going to move
and
this
that
over
and
here.
that
So
brings up a good point that for accountants and bookkeepers with what we're going to be talking about here today, it whether you use Melio or not, you will have you want to have this knowledge so that you can actually speak to it because of how integrated this service or this offering is inside of QuickBooks Online. It's something you want to be familiar with, right?
yeah, because you ultimately, like it or not, your clients are probably going to be touching or using Melio because it's so deeply integrated in QuickBooks. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, you want to beat your clients to the punch. Like you want to know Melio, you want to understand it. So when they ask you questions, you're very aware. One thing we do is everybody that comes on the Melio accountants team has to become certified in QuickBooks. So when you reach out to the accountants team, you're going to talk to that dedicated sales and support team. They've all been certified in QuickBooks. You can do chat right inside of Melio to connect to the accounts team. You can actually email us at accountants@melio.com and you have a home, right? Like melio.com/accountants. You always have a home Melio. Some people ask about the name. The easiest way to think about this is just Melio equals better. That's probably the easiest way to think about the word Melio, where it comes from. And so what is Melio? Short answer is it's just super easy to use business to business payments and receivables. If you think when I say easy, think Venmo, think PayPal, think Zelle. Like all that's for peer to peer. You can't really use it for business, right? So our founders are actually
Or
ads.
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. I think some of those apps now are offering business services, but their fees are high and the business stuff is 5, 6, 7 days, some of them, right? For the
Right.
deposits and
And I
that.
think that's why a lot of people will use those services because they'll go with the friends and family option to avoid said fee.
Yes, yes. A lot of
Right.
people will do those. And we've talked about that, I think, before. And then, but our founders were at PayPal when PayPal bought Venmo. And so when they left, they started Melio. And you'll see a lot of things from Venmo come over to Melio. So if you're used Venmo, it's super easy to use. Melio, super easy to use. You've used Venmo. So in Venmo, the basic money transfers are free. If I send you money, it's free. If you want the money instantly, there's a fee. So anything special, there's fees for it. Same thing in Melio, the basic fundamental payment, ACH to ACH or ACH to paper check, one business pay, another is 100% free. But anything special, there's a fee for it. If you want an instant payment, instant on debit card, pay by a credit card, deposit to a debit card. If you want us to deliver a box of cash, right? Anything special, there's fees for. But if it's just the basic money payments, it's free. And then the third piece is picking and choosing how you want to pay and how you get paid. So, Dan, if I pay you on Venmo, you don't care if I use my Venmo balance, my checking account, my credit card. You just don't care. And same thing when I pay you, I don't really care what you do with it either. If you deposit in your checking account, if you do an instant deposit, if you just leave it in your Venmo balance, the same thing with Melio. As a business owner, I can pick how I want to pay with my credit card, personal credit card, debit card, checking account, doesn't matter. And you being the business receiving can choose, I want a paper check, I want an ACH, I want to do instant deposit on my debit card. So that crisscross from Venmo exists in Melio as well. And so really, who is it for? Quickly, if you think about the free and easy options, and I put ish because they're not really free. There's an expense for the bank website. There's expenses with paper checks. And then the expensive and complex. So this is your software. You need 5 approvers to get a bill payment out the door, right? For a lot of pro advisors, though, and a lot of accounts bookkeepers, most of their clients are over here on the left, right? And sure, there's some clients you have that need multiple approver type level stuff, but most are over the left. And so what happens is it's left a gap in the market, right? Because you as an account or bookkeeper, you probably have clients that you can't justify the cost of that expensive and complex software. So you've just been telling them for the last 8 years, use the bank website. And I think actually, I made this slide with 9%. I think it's as high as like 97%. An account on 100 clients and they'll have 97% using the bank website because they can't justify an expensive or complex solution. But because Melio is free, Melio can be the solution you put all your clients on. Right. So there's no more reason to use paper checks, big website, et cetera. You can just put those on this. So you might have a client that needs 25 approvers to get a bill payment out the door. That's not the right fit. Put them on that expensive and complex solution. The Melio is really going to be the thing for everybody else. Right. You finally can offer a solution instead of just telling people, we'll deal with the bank website. Who wants to tell a client that? Right now you can use Melio.
Yeah. So then you lose insight into the bill payment process. If you don't have access as an accountant into their process.
And it's not secure, right? You're having to get their logins, the bank. There's a lot of reasons not to do that. So it's pretty straightforward. You add a bill. The best way is just put in the you pay with the credit card or bank account, and the vendor gets to choose how they want to be paid. It's pretty straightforward. And again, there's no cost. I just said anything special, there's fees for paying by credit card, instant payments, et cetera. But in general, there's no fees to use Melio.
Yeah, I think that is probably the toughest thing for people to grasp. I think when they're introduced to it, how do you guys make money if there's no fees, right?
And it's the special stuff, right? That's how we make money. If somebody wants to FedEx a paper check, there's a special fee for that. If they want to do an instant deposit to their debit card, special fee for that. Like everything special, there's a fee for. So it's not 100% free, but the basic tenet, the belief that businesses should be able to pay each other for free, that will always be there, right? Yeah. Like that is a founding tenet of Melio. So I'm going to skip out of this deck because everybody Melio gets an accountant's dashboard. And you'll see me in the accountant's dashboard. So I'm going to put my accountant's hat on here in a moment. Screen sharing is stopped. Okay.
Figuratively hat because you won't fit over the headset.
Yes, exactly. I had to pull this out and this on.
And so another caveat or thing to grasp is the 2 different flavors of Melio, and you guys just utilize those as colors. So green versus purple. And that's something for accountants and bookkeepers to keep in mind that there are just the distinction between the 2.
So there's the QuickBooks Online Bill Pay that's powered by Melio. That's just a lot of words to say. So it's easy to say green Melio. It's just easier. And then purple Melio is all the Melio that's purple, right? Now, the nice thing is it's the same product. It's the same train track. So if the work you do in one shows up in the other and vice versa, it's not where you have some clients in product A, some clients in product B, and you're always dancing, which clients are which product. They all show up in the same product. They all show up in your dashboard. They're all connected to you. Like you don't have to play a lot of that dance in that game. And the nice thing is you as the accountant or bookkeeper can dance between the 2, wherever's convenient, but then you can solve for your clients. You might have a client that has an in-house accounts payable clerk. You just set them all up, connect all the pipes, let them do everything in QuickBooks. You might have another client that you're doing the bill pay for, and they just need to do approvals, the basic level approvals. Maybe you do that in purple, right? You get to decide where you want to work and what's right for each individual client on that. But we should get into kind of the meat of why we're here, right? Which is ACH fees.
Right.
So
How does an accountant avoid ACH fees using Melio? That's the crux of our workshop today.
And what I've done is I actually created, an FAQ, and it's a little bit of a workaround. So it's one of those, it's not the perfect solution. It's definitely, I think you said it best. The workarounds involve work. Hey, I think you said
Right.
that when we talked earlier today. Workarounds involve
Right.
work, but it gets you to the same endpoint because ultimately you probably have an authorization form with your clients. They've already given you their ACH numbers. You probably have those written down somewhere on some sort of authorization form, right? And so if you have that, you can actually add your client to Melio, put in the bank account information, pay yourself through Melio, and then the owner doesn't really have to even be involved if you don't want the owner to be involved, which gets you to the exact same spot in the end. So it's a little bit of a workaround to get you exactly where you want to be, which is I can automatically have my clients pay me through Melio into my bank account, right? And it gets you there. So let me share again, and I'm going to share my whole screen now. Let's see.
And then as far as the setup is concerned, once it is set up, like once you've gone through this FAQ or this workflow, it would be set it, forget it. It would be automated to a degree.
Yes. And what I'll show you in this, if there's actually an option at the end, depending on
Okay.
how much control and automation you would like to have in this, share my whole screen. Share. Everybody should be able to see the screen split between a left and a right. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the left is the FAQ. Okay. And the right is, so I'll be able to, as we walk through, I'll do stuff in Melio, but we can see where we are in the FAQ.
I assume that was because you were like right in the middle of ta-da.
I saw the camera light go off first. I was like, how did that happen? And then I was like, oh, I've lost the internet. Okay. These are back going
Right.
here. And then we'll start this. So did you see me click the new client button on the dashboard?
No,
Oh, wow.
no.
All right.
You were showing your,
I got so
you were
excited.
showing your, yeah, you're showing the FAQ. So the FAQ side right now is actually looking at those Zoom meetings. Close that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
There
So
we
you're
go.
over here. So first I said you had to add your firm to Melio, right? Once you add your firm to Melio, you get a client's dashboard that I have here. I'm gonna hide my video because it's just hanging over my face here. So, okay. And you get a dashboard like this. And on the dashboard, you have a new client button. So then you have to add your clients to your dashboard because if you can't add your clients, you can't do this work, right? This workaround. So I'm going to hit new client button. It's really, really straightforward. I'm going to hit new client. I'm going to Dan's business. And we have businesses. You can never type when I'm live. Never can type
Right.
Dan at Dan.com. Do you own that? You should. You should get that.
No, it's somebody else owns it. It's actually a registrar right now. So it's like a GoDaddy thing. So I can't.
So, so I'm going to connect it. If I had QuickBooks and I had Dan's file, if I was the admin, I could say yes to their QuickBooks. If I say no, I'm going to have to put a bunch of other information about Dan's business in for right now. So I'm going to just say no temporarily because I don't have Dan's QuickBooks file to connect to QuickBooks, but that's the easiest way to get them on their
Yeah.
dashboard. So Dan, you make up a number. You remember I said about test data, right? You just make it up.
Right.
All right. Where do you want to live? Let's see. Swan Road. How's that work? Birth continue.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We don't care about the
Millions.
Guys. Millions. Okay, we're gonna skip adding your bank account for right now. And see, so this is where I can choose to invite you to the Melio account or not. Right? At this time, I don't need you to approve my payments, authorization. I'm just gonna say not now. So I'm not gonna invite you, the business owner, to Melio. Got it all set. I'm gonna say get started.
Now, would this be something that should be done before they opt into anything, or is that it's like fresh snow that you're talking about here? They've never touched Melio inside of QuickBooks Online.
So what we'll do is when you first put in their email address or connecting to QuickBooks, we check and see if they've already touched Melio and bring them into your dashboard.
Got it.
So
and
we're
then, of course, you wouldn't have to invite them if they've already set it up.
Yeah, it actually goes the other way. It's similar to QuickBooks Online Accountant. How you can invite your client or the client can invite you.
Gotcha.
So what would happen is if it detected your business already in Melio because you're in QuickBooks or who knows, it just detected you, it would actually pause me and send you an email. Hey, David Leary's accounting company just added you to their dashboard. Are you there? Do you want to authorize
Dan,
this? And you would say yes, no.
I
And then, so basically it would just be pending. Like this would be a pending business. I can't even touch or
got it.
use. So I'm going to add all my clients to my dashboard. So right now I have this fake small business client. I got your client. I have my real company. So this is my accounting firm, bookkeeping firm. And then I have my real company. And that's what I'm going to use for my demo here. So now we've added our clients. There's a video in this FAQ on how to add clients. It's very easy to do, pretty straightforward. So now, just before we go click by click on these things, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to create a bill in QuickBooks Online, have it sync to Melio. So once it syncs, now my vendor is there, right? The bill is there. And so this would be just the very next payment or bill, right? So it's maybe I bill weekly. It's the accounting services bill for this week. And I'm going to create a bill in QuickBooks. Then after I add that in, I'm going to go into that company and add my bank my ACH information in so I can be paid. Then after I add that, I'm going to add for my clients. In my case, my client already added their bank account information, but I'm going to add the client's bank account information so that way I have a bill to pay. And I'm going to pay that first bill. And then I would probably, and then we're not going to be able to do this in demo, but then I would wait a few days because we want to make sure all the bank account stuff is moving and arriving properly, right? Because people mistype account numbers. There's lots of things that could go wrong. So I do the first one and I wait. Then when it's done, then I can get into the two possible options, and we'll discuss those in a moment on how to automate this. Because the one way is to automate it 100% on the Melio side. And another option is to do a recurrent transaction in QuickBooks Online. So it just creates the bill automatically, but then you manually choose to pay it,
Got it.
on how you want to handle that. So,
And I think the other challenge, I think, like when I first saw your FAQ, I was like, wait a minute, why are you doing bill payments to receive money? But of course, from that perspective, it's a bill to your client. So that's why
that's
the
essentially what you're
bill,
doing.
and you're receiving the money.
Exactly. Essentially what you're doing in this workaround is you're having the clients pay you automatically every month. So it's not an auto withdraw type situation. It's more of an auto pay to you situation. Like, so
Yeah.
it gets you to the same place in the end though, right? Because really what you want is you want your clients to pay you every week or every month, some fixed amount. It gets you to the same spot. So what we'll do now that we've added the client, let's do step 3. So we're going to go to each the client's QuickBooks files. And for us, we're just going to do this all with Sombrero Apps Company. And I'm going to switch. Oh, come on, Zoom. I can't get my browser tab. All right, now I can get to my browser tab. There we go. And of course, I got signed out when everything calmed. Give me a moment. Oops, it's wrong.
It's worked perfectly in rehearsal.
Oh, the problem is you have to have an active internet connection or things don't like to stay connected. Okay, there you go. All right, so I'm going to go to my client, Sombrero Apps. You guys all know QuickBooks, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do a new bill. This is why I like to always just fake it all with slide decks. Sometimes it's hard to do real.
Right.
But I really wanted to walk through this FAQ, right? And really show it that you got it. All right. So I'm going to add my firm, assuming I haven't added it yet as a vendor in my client's file. So I'm going to all right. So there's my firm. Okay. QuickBooks, what are you doing there? Go save. I saved my new vendor. So I've saved my vendor. I'll put in my category, professional fees. Right. Weekly bookkeeping. Okay, we get it. Still check things. All right. So I just
Trying to be
charge
helpful.
$125 a week for my weekly bookkeeping fees. Right.
Sure.
All right. So I'm charging this. I'm going to go ahead and just do a save and save this bill. And then I'm going to switch back over to Melio and just sync my data. Go into Sombrero Apps Company. So this is my client. So I was in my client's QuickBooks, created a bill for my accounting firm. I'm going to go into my Sombrero Apps company. That's my client. I'm going to just get it to sync here quickly. Sync with QuickBooks, kick off a quick manual sync now. It's never
And by
fast enough.
normally this synchronization would happen within minutes.
Yeah,
But
we use the
you're
webhook.
doing it. Yeah, you're doing it just for the purposes of the demo to get this to pull in faster than that.
Yeah, very rarely are you going to go create it in QuickBooks and race over to Melio and back. You're going to do some stuff in QuickBooks, get a cup of coffee, come back to movements in Melio, and just move on. So now the bill I created is here. So now I've created that bill, it is here, and now that's takes care of step 3. I even said, click the sync now button. So I even told people to do that. Click the sync now button in the pay tab inbox, your bill's showing up. So now this is the bill I created for legal professional services. So now what I want to do is I want to go add my ACH info, because when the small business pays this bill, I want to go to my bank account. So I'm going to go to contacts. I'm going to go to vendors and find me on my server. I guess I should just search faster type letter S here. There we go. So now I'm on my firm. So just, okay, and it says here, and my firm is the vendor. And now I'm going to click on add a payment method. So I want this to be a bank ACH method.
Got it.
I'm going to type in my numbers here. Some numbers. I would actually use real numbers in the future.
But then all of a sudden, your bank account's empty after showing it.
How many do I need for the routing? Is it 9 digits?
I think it's 8 or 9. 9-digit routing number.
4. It should be 9 there, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll type in a real routing number. Give me 1 second. 041 215 663. All right, you won't have. I won't put your real account number in. So
No, you don't want that.
It's going to be on YouTube, and
Right.
It's dangerous to do stuff like that. Okay, so now if I look now, my Sombrero app for keeping and accounting, now my bank account is in here. So now when they go to pay me, the money has some place to go. Okay.
Does it need to verify the account, or does it matter?
Not for somebody getting paid, no, because it's going to deposit into this account. They don't need to do that at all. Okay, so that's step 4. We're going to add my firm's ACH info. So basically, I had no ACH info, and now I have ACH info added in, and you see the bank details. So now in my client's files, I need to add the client's bank account so they can pay me, right? So I already have that in. So on this client, if I go, I go to settings, and I go to payment methods, I already added my checking accounts. I've added checking accounts to debit cards, my QuickBooks cash card. I have personal credit cards. I have virtual credit cards here. I have all the different ways you could possibly pay a bill. I've added them all to Melio. So they're all in here. If not, and it's the first time you're setting up the client, if you add their bank account, you might have to, everybody's done that. The 2 days of like micro deposits, you got to verify the deposit, right? Or you could connect the debit card and get it set up instantly. So there's a couple options you have to do this. So for our case, I'm just going to use the checking account of this client to pay me and my firm. So that's step 5. So we added the ACH info for this bank account. It's been added in. And so now in step 6, we're going to pay us. Whoops, I clicked clients. I didn't mean to do that. I want to go to pay. And so now we have this bill for our firm. We're not automating anything yet. We just want to get the first one out and make sure it works. So we're going to schedule this bill payment. We're going to choose that checking account. Oh, sorry, I have so many payment methods. I just couldn't see the continue button. I was like, what's it doing?
Nothing going on.
Yes. Okay. And in this case, I'm just going to do a normal ACH 3 days business transfer, right? I'm not going to do same day deliver or anything like that. So I'm going to hit continue.
Is there a limit to the amount of money to that could be moved in one transaction
If it's over $100,000, it actually takes 4 business days. There's an extra day delay of risk review and that type of stuff.
yes.
I think on the same day delivery, some of the limits on that are depending how you're paying. I think
Mm,
some debit cards have limits of $3,200 and smaller limits. Some credit cards have limits. It all depends on your method of payment and whether or not you can do fast and that speed would be.
got it.
For those other payment methods. So I'm just do a normal payment. Coming up with the memo. Thanks for being a great. So I okay. And then
Note to
just
self, literally.
so remember, I'm in the client's file. So the client is paying $125 to Sunboro Bookkeeping and Accounting on this day, and it's going to transfer it to the Sunboro Bookkeeping and Accounting bank account, right? And the date of the estimated date. And again, there's no transaction fee because it's a basic ACH, which is the whole point of this whole thing, right? Is no
Yeah.
fee, right? So there's no fee. I'm going to hit confirm and schedule payment. And now it's been scheduled, right? So I'm going to say I'm done here because I don't need to notify myself. So I'm done here.
You're doing it.
I'm actually doing it. And so now, oh, you know what I did? It's set as pending because I think in my company, I have approval set. So
Yeah.
this won't go out. Just remember, we talked about if you don't want to involve the owner, you don't have to. Fortunately, in this company I'm doing the demo in has an owner that needs to approve.
Ah.
They have to approve this for it to go out the door. But essentially, after it's been approved, it goes out the door. And actually, let me just away on my other computer here. I'm just going to quickly go in.
Prove it.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds. Bills. So I'm logging in as the business owner on my other computer really quickly here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit the purple button that says approved. Now it's done, and we'll refresh this.
The magic of the speed of light. It's apparently pretty fast.
Payment's been scheduled. So now it's
Okay.
ready to go out the door. It's ready to be paid. And then this will be deducted tomorrow out of my client's bank account. 3 days later, it'll be put into my bank account. So this is why I tell everybody to pause this section. Like, make sure the one payment goes through. You've got all the pipes connected successfully.
Right.
Let's pretend it's 3 days from now and I'm ready. This money got moved into my bank account. It's now moved in the paid column. I'm going to delete this so I don't forget because I'm using my real bank accounts here. So I'm going to cancel this because
Right.
I don't want to pay this. Yes,
You don't want to pay yourself.
yes, cancel this payment. I'm going to delete that out. And then in QuickBooks here, I'm going to view the bill again. So this is where you have 2 options on how you would handle this step. One option is you can be partially automated. And the way you would do that is you have this bill here. You can make it recurring, right? And you can have it get created every week, whatever it is. So every time the bill gets created in QuickBooks, it's going to sync over to Melio. So let's just pretend for sake this was a recurring transaction. Yes, leave without sits. Oops, I left the whole bill. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay. Let's say this was a recurring transaction. It would be created and then it would appear in Melio in the inbox as a bill to pay. So the partially automated way would be is the bills just automatically get created in QuickBooks and then every week it's going to it's going to sync. It's not magic anymore, right? Syncing's not magic, right? It just does it. It's going to sync it to here. Once it's here, you can at that time choose schedule this payment and put it out the door. The other reason some people might prefer to use this route is maybe my fees fluctuate each week. And I need to change that before it gets paid. So this is the partially automated route, which is going to be option A here in step 8. That makes sense. Then there's the actual fully automated route where you do everything from Melio's side. So I'm going to delete this bill out of QuickBooks. Delete. Yes. All right, so now that bill is no longer in my QuickBooks. And in a moment, it'll refresh and it should go away from my Melio as well. Because if there's no bill to pay, there shouldn't be a bill in Melio to pay. Hopefully it's synced. So it hasn't finished syncing yet. So just pretend that it will vanish here in a moment. I don't want to go hit sync yet. Okay. So now here's the option to do a fully automated. So what you'll do is in Melio itself, you'll add the bill. So I'm going to do a new payment. I'm going to add this bill manually. I'm going to enter my vendor, which is me. Sombrero keeping. And we're only going to do this after we know all the bank account stuff was all good, right? But we paused for this couple of days.
Proof of concept is done.
Yeah.
All systems are go.
Yeah. So
Then,
I'm going to
then
do
do this.
legal professional fees. I'm going to do my $125. I'm going to do it weekly. I'm going to put a number in for today. 0 or 575. All right. And so I'm only going to do this for the next 4 weeks just to make our illustration purposes easier. The first day this is going to arrive. So we're going to every Monday, we're about that money to come out. And it will start on the 17th, right? I just did that other thing. So every Monday, and this will be monthly accounting fees. Or sorry, weekly, right? Weekly.
Yeah.
All right. So basically what I'm doing, I'm putting a bill into myself, but instead of putting it in QuickBooks, I put it in Melio this time. And I set it up to automatically just happen every week. So I'm going to save and schedule a payment. I'm going to choose the checking account again. Continue. And I could choose any of the other accounts I want. I'm going to continue. And again, there's no transaction fees. Basically, it's just an ACH to ACH transfer. There's nothing special happening here. I'm going to do confirm and schedule payment. Okay, and I'm not going to notify them. Thanks, I'm done here. And so now I have a scheduled transaction. If you see it has this little repeat thing. So every week, this transaction is going to get created. And when it gets created, it's going to take the money out of the client's bank account, move it to my bank account.
Yeah.
And then
that'll show up in QuickBooks as a bill and a bill payment when that actually takes place.
That's correct. Actually, what I'll show you, this is the one downside of this method is we automatically send everything, which is not ideal. Accounting wise, it's correct. But it's a little annoying when, and you're going to see this after I sync, when we go back over to QuickBooks, we just set 4 bills and 4 bill payments, one each week, which accounting wise is correct. But when you go to reconcile and do bank feeds, it's a little bit annoying when you do the recurring. And so that's something I'm working on to improve because I'm of the opinion that we should just put the next one in. So process one, put one in the future in. And sync that to QuickBooks again. So now I've synced. I'm just go back over here to paid. So remember our bill that got deleted, it finally went away. It's gone. And then the scheduled one's still hanging around in here. It's still there. All right, so now I'll go over to QuickBooks and let's go to our vendors list. And find that account. So again, I'm in the client's file still, right? And so what you'll see is all these bills are here. It didn't do the bill payment yet because I didn't approve it. Remember, I have to approve it. So what it went and created a bill each week, and then it'll create a matching bill payment each week. So this is the way to do the fully automated. It's just some people don't like it because it feels cluttered because all those transactions are there, but technically it's correct.
Yeah.
It's a bill and it's a payment and a bill and a payment and a bill and a payment. But some people don't want to see, if I would have done 52 weeks, 52 of these in the essentially.
So it's just an important safety tip to note that. However, you and Melio are aware of that. It's not you're just dealing with it in the current situation, and in a perfect world that will that may
eventually. So my dream would be is we just send the next one. So it's the current one. And then the next one that's scheduled. And the current one, the next one is scheduled. So instead of, like in this case, it would have put the one in for the 17th. Then when the 17th is processed, now send the one to QuickBooks on the 24th. But right now we just send them all. Right? Where we're at, unfortunately, we don't have that in. So that's essentially the whole thing. Now you can repeat the steps 2 through 8 for every single client and set this all up. But in the end, it gets you the exact same spot. I had the client's banking information. I have my own banking information. I set it all up every month. It's going to withdraw this money from their bank account, put it into my bank account. it gets you to the same spot as some of you would have had if you had an ACH pull. Right. So we're not doing ACH pull. This is just you basically making the vendors pay you, or vendors, sorry, your customers pay you. It's more of a pay or a push, not really a pull. Not the gist of it. I'll stop sharing. And I don't know if you have any questions or if anybody asks questions on the
No,
chat.
I don't have anything yet, but we reserve the right to tag you
In the
in any
comments,
of
that's
them.
always, that's okay.
In the comments. And then David, if you would post the FAQ in there, that way it's easily accessible
Okay.
when you can. But yeah, we're coming up on the top of the hour and I actually have a hard stop. So I appreciate you coming on today and just chatting about this workaround. And it's just like you were saying, in the end, it's the same result. You're avoiding the ACH fees. It is through the name, through the root of the word is workaround. We're on a workshop.
Workshop
Yeah,
Wednesdays, right? Workshop Wednesdays. That's what we're here for. I do appreciate it. I do apologize. First, we had Facebook live stream problems on your side. And then as we get everything going, my internet
Right.
decides to clock out. Anybody
So
who stuck
we're
with
even.
us and wrote it out, and I think if you're watching this on the recording and you had to fast forward, we apologize for that gap. I was gone for about 2.5 minutes, but hopefully everything's here. Dan got me back on track and it should be good.
All right. Again, if you have any questions for David, just put them in the comments and we'll make sure that he gets us the right answer. And we'll see you next week on another Workshop Wednesday where we'll be talking about the payroll migration that just was alerted this week. Hopefully you join us for that next week and we'll see you again. I hope you have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.